Thank you, ma'am. I still need to call her ma'am. She outranks me. Are we live? Nope. It's okay if we're not, because you can hear me, can't you? Yeah. So first let me say what a great honor it is to stand in this beautiful place and be asked to speak today to honor my fellow veterans. Those who have served this country since the Revolutionary War have sacrificed so much for this republic and for our Constitution, and to openly and unapologetically include lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered veterans. I'm a Marine. I'm an Iraq War veteran. And as a trained warrior, it is exceptionally difficult sometimes not to just fire from the hip indiscriminately, especially when, as we have been attacked so often, so viciously, and for so long. But as a Marine, I learned that in addition to the skills to kill, I also learned that you have to temper force with a measure of good judgment. And those who would oppose us in our march towards equality, in the end, they're pretty much doing themselves in anyway. They make of themselves easy targets by the things they say to hurt us, especially those of us who've served. And the temptation is great sometimes. But those who've placed themselves on the side of discrimination and bigotry have placed themselves on the wrong side of history. And the words that are carved into the marble halls in Washington, D.C. and around the capitals of this great nation are not so much things that we should look back towards, but they're things that we should always be marching toward. And we're going to keep marching. And if I fall away in this fight, someone will close ranks and take my place. And if he or she falls away, someone will close ranks and take her place, because we are a nation that's better than bigotry. Now, like always, those who would oppose liberty and justice for all will wrap themselves in the flag. But when that song is sung and the winds of truth go through that flag, when Old Glory is unfurled, then they will be exposed for what they are. And the people who have been entrusted by the citizens with power to govern, who would then use that power to hurt our citizens, especially those who have put on a uniform and been willing to give their life for this nation, that will be proved to have shamed themselves. Their descendants will be ashamed of what they did. I hope mine will be proud that I stood here in this rotunda today and said thank you to all my veterans, including the queer vets that I served alongside. Now, I'd like to tell you a story of 100 veterans right now. I don't have the time, so I really want to tell you basically the story of one. When I deployed to Iraq, my greatest concern was for a Marine that I would be leaving behind. He was a Marine that was 74 when we met, and he was a Korean War veteran, also gay. He had no blood family left, and he asked my parents for the permission to call me grandson, to introduce me as his grandson. He was proud of me for being a Marine. I've never met anybody as proud to be a Marine as Eric was. When I got back from Iraq, my sort of concerns had proved justified, because he had fallen among robbers and thieves, and he had Parkinson's disease. His health was really declined. He could no longer live on his own. So he moved in with me for the last year of his life until, like the great patriot he died on the 4th of July, 2005. During the time that, he lived with me, my Marines, would come around and listen to his stories. He served at Chosin Reservoir. For any of those who know your military history, it was a time when Marines fought their way out against 10-to-1 odds against the Chinese army, 40 degrees below zero, 50-mile-an-hour winds. He was there and served his nation proudly. When Eric died, my Marines came once again to my side and gave him full military honors at his funeral, sat on the family's pew with me. Although it was not my primary MOS as a Marine, I volunteered to play taps with funeral details with different units, and I'd been part of funeral honors many, many times, and I'd heard those familiar words. On behalf of the President of the United States, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, and the people of a grateful nation, we offer you this flag, this tri-cornered flag. They would give them as a symbol of the appreciation of the service of your loved one to country and corps. So I never thought that I'd be the guy getting the flag. But that day after Eric's funerals, my Marines walked up to me, and gave me that flag because, you see, they understood that love makes a family, and that Marine was my family. They had stood by me through so many sad times and hard times. It was really a blessing for them to get to come and stand by me at my wedding. My buddies all the way, by the way, not that it should matter, are straight, but they came to my wedding and they did the whole Arts of Swords thing. There's a tradition that the last Marine in line will whack typically the bride on the rear end when she walks by and say, "Welcome aboard." There was no way I was going to ask, but I was curious. So when my new husband walked past the last Marine in line, another Eric Estenzo, I call him the man who saved my life in Iraq, he whapped at him on the ass and said, "Welcome aboard." Don't take this the wrong way. There is nothing, we're not about to drop, pack, and cool our heels. Those of us who are fighting against discrimination, especially for those serving our nation, we're not about to quit. But in some ways, the things that those people that would oppress us, those people that misuse their power so despicably, in some ways, to me, it doesn't really matter because of those events that I just described to you, and because of yesterday, on the Marine Corps' 234th birthday, when my Marines from all over the United States and abroad texted me, Facebook, welcome to the 21st century, sent me messages of their support of me and what I do, and just, keep going. So I don't really care, we're gonna keep fighting, we're gonna win. That's what the United States of America stands for. It stands for equality. That's just simply not gonna change. And the reason that is because, we're still the land of the free because of the brave. So to paraphrase those words we often use in our honors ceremony at funerals, I'd like to say to all those lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered people who have served our nation, those who are now living and those who are dead, on behalf of an all too often ungrateful nation, I am so sorry. And I promise you, as sure as I'm standing here today, that we will not rest until you are honored with the honesty which you deserve. God bless our troops, God bless America, and God bless us all without exception.